So now we are going to reassemble it in essentially reverse order. So I'm going to start with the pusher rail. I'm going to place it on. And make it so all these are going under from this view or over from this view. There's little slots here. Okay, and then I'm going to screw in here to secure the pusher rail. So I have one of the little square nuts. I'm going to put it over one of the holes, and I only have one screw on this. I'm putting it towards the center. And I'm going to take a flat head and attach this. Oop. I'm going to try again. Try to finger screw it in first. It's actually kind of hard to thread it in the nut. That's actually the problem. Okay, I think I got it lined up correctly. Okay, yeah. And then I'm just going to tighten that in. That hold it in. And I'm going to take these other square ones and put them over the other holes. And then it keeps them as spacers. And also, if I end up finding any screws for it, I can screw it in. Put those there. Okay. Gently put this back down to not loosen that. Loosen those nuts. Latch the spring there. Hard to see what I'm doing, holding the camera and doing this. Okay. There we go. It's on there now. Next, I am going to put on the channel plates. These are the back bed ones. These are ones without the hole through here. So that I'm going to start placing them. And there will be 9 of these. In correctly. Yeah, those are sitting better. There we go. Okay. And the striker plates to help keep those in place. And I'm just going to put the ones on the back bed on. And there's these little notches here. They match up with some notches on the bed. So you just gotta have to find till they kind of click and they don't move, just kind of like that. Snap and they don't move. And some of the beds have different, they need different striker plates. I have 2 pinky beds. Actually, I got a damaged one. I have a pinky and I got a damaged one for parts. And the striker plates were actually different. The notches on the back were not the same. Okay. And then I'm going to put the end plates on. Okay, now that we have the end plates, we are going to figure out where they go. So we have to know which side is the right and left and which one's front and back. So this is the front, this is the back. My front has this tracking rail here for the E6000. Also the racking handle is the front left. And so see the arrow here. and the knob to drop the bed is on the front right. So we need the arrows to go where the racking handle is, and that is the front left. And this is another left, so it's going to have to go on the back here. And then we have two rights. So these are actually identical. They both have the racking notches, the racking arrows. So I'm just going to pick the better looking one to go on the front, and this one on the back. Okay, so I'm actually going to place these on the back bed right now. On the front bed, I still need to put the channel beds on it. That feels good. Okay, there we go. And then I'm going to line them up next to it. Okay. Yeah, slightly different angle really helps with this. Yeah. Okay, now we can put end plates on. And this one was a little harder to get around this, so it's going to be a little harder to get it on around this. There we go. Now we are going to put some screws in. So on the top, we put in the screws that have the rectangular head with the two notches, and they're going to go in like this. Okay, and there's two different lengths, and these are going to go on the ends, at least on the front right end, because there are these screws that go over it. If you had any wings added onto the left, you should have those there too, but I don't have any wings for the left. Okay, so I just put the short ones in to most of these. Okay, another long one. I'm gonna go here. I have a short one. and another short one. So I definitely don't have any other long ones to put on the end. Okay, I'm going to put the short ones on the end, other end here. Okay, now I'm going to take needle channels, go ahead and put them in. And if I feel they're especially loose, then I can put a spacer in. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8. So I'm just going to place them. Oh, well, yeah, great if I remembered where they were. Was this one? Yeah, see, that's tight. You know, I don't think I actually need any spacers right now. I'm just going to set these aside. Okay. Now, I am going to put these rails on. So this can pop off. There's nothing stopping it from popping off right now, but I'm going to tape it down. So we're going to put this on. I'm just going to feed it through all of these bolts or screws. Okay. Back bed as well, same deal. And then I'm going to use some painter's tape to hold these down so they don't come off when I tip this over. Now I'm going to do something very similar with the bottom rails, except I'm going to use painter's tape on the actual nuts themselves, the bolts themselves. This one goes on the front, open space down. On top of that is going to be the stitch markers. Okay, on the back bed, there's going to be this rail. And it's going to fit on top of here. There are actually little notches that actually slides on and it stays up. So in the meantime, I'm going to put some of the bolts through. just a little harder to manage this from this side. Oh, where's the hole? Is this center? Where's center? Let's see. Okay, that's center. Okay, so I have not put any here, and here. Those are empty right now. So my next step is to tape these down as well. I'm going to tape the rail, and then I'm going to tape the nuts to the rail. I'm going to tape the bolts to the rail. Little squares of tape over each of them. Okay, I'm going to tape that side down as well. Okay, now we are ready to flip over and put the washer and nuts on. Washers and nuts on. Okay, except this top row I am not going to tighten completely. I'm not going to tighten the top rows completely. I'm just going to do a few twists because I'm still going to take these off to put the needles on, the springs on, and then put those back on, and then fully tighten them at the end. So I'm just going to flip this over. Okay. Okay, so here comes the trickiest part. Trying to get these washers and the nuts on. So I take my orange tool, I put it through a nut, and I put it through a washer and hold it up. Okay, so I am going to put it on that nut back there, bolt back there, would put this nut on it. Okay, so let's try this again. So I have a washer and a nut on the orange tool. So I'm going to take it back and I'm going to point it right at the top of the bolt, right there. And I'm going to try to twist that on to the end. So that's on. I'm going to take my tool, tighten it. I'm going to tighten this all the way right now, and then I'm going to loosen it as if I were just loosening it to take the rail off normally. Okay, and then just keep going. Okay, and there's one right back here, which is actually pretty hard to see, so I'm going to take off this plate now. now that we have the bottom rails screwed in completely and the top rails in lightly, I'm going to take the tape off and then take the rails off, the top rails off. Oh, that one I missed. So I'm going to keep the tape down there, but off of the bed. Because I'm going to put the needles in, and that would be in the way. The tape got screwed down a little bit here, but we'll get that up. It got under the rail just a teeny bit, somehow. I can loosen this one just a tiny bit later if I need to. Which I might need to. It's the first time I've accidentally screwed down the tape. Okay, that one I'll loosen. Okay, now we'll take the rails off. And start placing all the needles. Okay, and the two around the bolt you'll have to put in carefully, but the other ones you can lay directly on top. Oop. Okay. 170 more to go. Actually, this one's missing a few needles, so slightly less than that. But you get the idea. Now that the needles are all on, I'm going to start putting the springs in. I'm going to start with the pusher spring. Okay, I'm going to push the pusher spring in most of the way. And then I'm going to get the bar in underneath that. Attach it and push it the rest of the way in. And that's hurting my fingers, so I'm going to get my mallet. I'm going to tap it in. Okay. Now the needle springs. So the little hook end is going to go where this shape is, here. And then the same thing on the other side. So I am going to start from this side for this one. Tap it. Again, a mallet, not a hammer. It just kind of hurts my fingers to do that. Okay, I'm going to do a similar thing on the back side. Except I'm going to grab this and I'm going to have to move this over a little bit because I don't have enough room on this side. Now we're not going to lose our needles. Now we can put these rails in, the bars. I'm going to have the hook face the back. Put that there. I'm going to put this here too. Remember there's going to be a color changer there, so this is going to come on this far side as well, this left side. Okay, front and back. Springs and bars in. Okay, now we could put the pushers in, front and back. Remember, the front ones are shaped differently. They either have a bar or they look like paper clips, kind of. So they either have this ball thing, cylinder, okay, or look like paper clips. So let's put these on. Okay, that's all of them. Okay, now I need to screw this one down completely, and then I'm going to tighten the top rails. We have all the needles in, we have all the pushers in, so after that we'll be ready to put this back up on the stand. So let's write this up. Done with that. Okay, I'm going to put this back on the stand. Come from this side. One hand on the front, one hand on the back. Pick it up. And place it on. Okay, now I have the machine back in place. It is clamped onto the stand, and now we can put the lock back on. So I'm going to take the back lock, line up the guides onto the top and bottom rail. Try to get this on. Okay. Oh, I changed it to H. So I'm gonna go back to GX. Okay, and we'll do the same with the front lock. Line up the top and the bottom. And then this sticks here. I had to press it down to get it on that track. And then also go to GX. Take it apart. There's a piece that's likes to come off here. Okay, it's broken. Just put it on right here. Okay, let's get the cable back on the back. Hold it like this and slide it onto that metal piece. Down and plug in from the front to the back. And now we are ready to test out the machine and the function of the lock, to check all the functions, whether the needles go up and down, the arrows actually work, and if any pushers are not working with the computer, and then we're going to see what needs to be oiled, what needs to be fixed, and if any channels or any needles are not working. So we'll do that later, but that concludes the cleaning and most of the reassembly. I haven't put the color changer back on because I need to find one more of these. To put them on, you put this over, you put on after the nut on the long screw, and you can use a Phillips to tighten it down, and then you use this to hold the wing on. Okay, I have the lock back on, and I almost forgot to put the racking handle back in. And there we go. Down at 0, up at transport position, or disassembly position. But that's main half pitch. This is full pitch. We can continue this next time.